Welcome to episode 153 of the quest lore series, Sins of the Father. To start this quest you must have completed Vampire Slayer, The Restless Ghost, Priest in Peril, Nature Spirit, In Search of the Maya Key, In Aid of the Maya Key, Darkness of Hallowvale, and A Taste of Hope. You talk to Veliath Hertz in the graveyard in sleep. The town's been plagued by an illness. Those infected fall into a deep sleep never to wake. Lady Cromwick, who rules over this town with her husband, was the first victim. Their manor has been locked down, but the vampires have been seen around it. To investigate, Veliath recommends you start by talking to people who know the victims. Hamel the Jester's travelling companion, Hanshin the Hound, is the latest victim of the sleeper plague. Hanshin went to the Rat and Bat pub to drink a bloody bracer, and on the way back he collapsed. In the pub you talk to Carl. You ask him where he gets the bloody bracers from, but he won't tell you how it's made. So whilst he goes to the supplier to get more, you sneak behind him, following him around town to a dungeon. He talks to Croy and says that someone's poking around. Van Strom Klaus and Damien Lowkert appear. Deep within the underground sanctuary, Croy found a recipe for an elixir made by the Sisterhood. Those who drink it have their lives extended, but at the cost of being put into a deep sleep never to wake, and they've been hiding this in the beer. This is advantageous to the vampires, as they can easily harvest more blood this way. Whilst Van Strom Klaus commends Lokert's initiative, he doesn't appreciate his recklessness, as this has caught the attention of the Maya Key. Van Strom leaves for Darkmire and warns Damien that he will not be getting any supported defense from him. As you heard everything, Croy can't let you leave this place alive. You defeat him and then destroy his lab. Then you update Veliath. While he was investigating the manor, he found out that it had been taken over by vampires, more specifically, Damien Lowkert. And once again, Van Strom Klaus insulted Damien for his recklessness, accusing him of demanding too much from the werewolves. This would explain your encounter with them during the Darkness of Hallowvale quest. Before you go deal with Damien, Veliath would like you to meet him at Patadomus to check in with Drezel and Ivan before continuing your investigation. You update Drezel, and he says that the king's mercenaries have vanished, plus more families have gone missing. King Rold's advisor Aonisig is refusing to send military help. There's going to be a meeting in the haunted woods directly south of Fenkenstrain's castle, and Ivan has gone to spy on it. Veliath is worried because Ivan is the last living descendant of Ivandis Seergaze, and Drezel is the only other person alive that is also a descendant of one of the 7 priestly warriors. Ivan hasn't yet learnt about his heritage. You join him to spy on the meeting. The werewolves are delivering a family they kidnapped who were picnicking near the River Salve. They appear to think that Damien's days are numbered as the Maya Key are investigating and killing the vampires. The meeting ends and Veneskula Draken comes with an offer. She would like to give you the opportunity to kill Loernio Draken so she can rule diplomatically instead and allow humans to live peacefully alongside the vampires. She is aware that Calcidiu is not a real person. Veliath made him up to try and instill hope in the rest of the Maya Key. The word Calcidiu is an anagram of the word suicidal, which may be what the resistance ultimately is. She invites the conversation to continue, with all the Maya Key attending, at the Icene graveyard. You'll escort Ivan down to Bergderot. At a bog, you cut down 3 tree vines and combine them to make a long rope, then attach it to a tree so you can swing to the other side. Jagex didn't even animate Ivan Strom swinging across. Then you kill some nail beasts and chop 3 logs to repair a broken bridge. Now you encounter 2 vampires who you protect Ivan from. Having made it safely to Bergderot, you then go to the boathouse. At the Icene graveyard you are promoted to the rank of lieutenant in the Maya Key. Before the land was known as Mauritania, it was Hallowvale. Saradominis used to live here, but then Loernio Draken came from the Shadow World. He conquered the land and turned it to the hands of Zamorak. Whilst he's a great conqueror, he is a poor ruler. The society here is collapsing, with the numbers of humans decreasing and the vampire population growing. There's less blood to go around. Veneskula's dream is that humans and vampires can live together in a great empire, and that Mauritania could be a land of peace and prosperity. Her plan is to bring the Maya Key as captives to the impenetrable Castle Draken. This would prompt Loernio to leave his chambers for once, opening a window of opportunity to defeat him. Veliath is pessimistic about all of this. Now she would like a conversation with Safilan. He doesn't know much about his childhood, all he remembers is his name. Venescula says that what's within the mausoleum will reveal what he needs to know. You solve the puzzle on the lock, and inside the plaque reads, "Here lies Larina Hallow, beloved daughter of Ifarate and Acertes Hallow, and faithful sister of Saphalan Hallow." It turns out that Saphalan is the half-human, half-Icene son of Queen Ifarate Hallow, the last queen before the vampire invasion of Mauritania. To shorten the war of Lawernios' conquest, Ranis Draken captured Saphalan's father. Queen Ifarate then walked into Lawernios' camp in hopes that the father would be freed in exchange for her, but his father was turned into a vampire and the fate of his mother is unknown. The father changed his name to Van Strom Klaus. You then go to every member of the Myaki in the order of Vetida Cephalitis, Kale Forshaw, Radagad Pomfit, Pomalfi Ferdigris, Ivan Strom, and Veliath Hertz. The earlier members show support for the plan, convincing the future ones, until finally Veliath, who is only convinced as the rest of the Myaki have agreed. Venescula suggests that you upgrade the Evandis flail. If you go back to the laboratory in Mayaditch, you might find further research notes to upgrade the weapon. You make your way back to the laboratory. Saphalan wonders if any of his father, Acertes, remains in Van Strom Klaus. Deep in the lab, you encounter a mutated Bloodveld. When it attacks, Saphalan's magic powers activate, although this knocks him out. You defeat the other mutated Bloodveld. He's annoyed that he still doesn't have control of when his powers activate. In a room with mutated Bloodvelds, you find another volume of Hayam Alchemy, which you give to Saphalan. Queen Ifarate was a renowned botanist. One of the plants she grew was a blistered tree, the sap of which could create a poison deadly to vampires, and its bark can be made into weapons. Venescula only knows of one blistered tree, in Ifarate's old arboretum in the middle of Darkmire. If you can get a disguise, you can get into Darkmire. You can buy the disguise from Trader Sven just south of Old Man Raoul's house, and then you talk to Pomalfi to get it adjusted for you. Now you need to disguise the scent, so she recommends that you deal with Damien Lucert in sleep. The only way to get into the mansion is through the dungeon. Damien kills Lord Cromwick. When he throws fire, you put them out, and alongside Veliath Hertz, you defeat him. As he dies, you use his blood to scent your disguise. There's a crack in the wall just north of the Dayalt mine, where you'll be able to get into Darkmire. Now that you've got a disguise, you need a suitable name, Vampyrus Jargarin. With the outfit on, you're easily let out of the mine. You find a crack in the wall, which you go through, and then run around the city till you reach the arboretum. The guard outside, Desmodus Lazarus, talks to you. No one's allowed in, but he'll let you in if you do him a favour. He says that after Gadaranx died, Van Strom Klaus owed him a debt. Desmodus Lazarus is to keep Gadaranx's wife and child, which you had previously promised to take care of. Morden Nikazi was supposed to be bringing them, but he hasn't arrived yet, so you go look for him. Morden Nikazi sold the slaves to Lord Alexei Jovkai for some blood because he was starving. He's keeping them in a prison just north of the Arboretum. Inside the prison, you talk to Maria Gadaranx. It turns out that Lord Jovkai has been keeping the Gadaranx as his personal tithes, and they don't mind giving a bit of blood every now and then to the vampires. At this moment, Van Strom Klaus enters, and he says that these prisoners belong to Desmodus Lazarus. Throughout the conversation, you remain turned away from him, and at the last moment he wants you to turn and face him, but you refuse, and then he thinks he recognizes your voice. Sarius Gil appears, and says that Lady Venescula has urgent need for him. You can now go into the arboretum. Here you see some toppled shelves. In one of them you find a tatty note. With the right amount of water, you'll be able to soften the tree to chop logs or collect sap. You turn the valves of the water pipes to get the right amount of water that the tree needs and cut 8 logs. At the hideout under Old Man Rao's house, Vetida turns 7 of the logs into blisterwood sickles, and he thinks you can craft one for the flail. From the crate you find a blessed silver sickle. You use a ruby on it, enchant it, and then use this on the logs, creating the blisterwood flail. You talk to Saphalan Hallow, who is staring out across the water, reflecting that this is all coming to an end, one way or another. You update him on what you've been up to, and that you didn't manage to keep your promise to Gadaranx, to protect his family. He still wonders if there's any remains of his father, and you reflect on your journey together up to this point. You go over the plan, that you'll go into the castle to fight Lord Drakon. Once defeated, Venescula will teleport you all out and she'll take the place of ruler, to forge a relationship between vampires and humans, hopefully bringing in a time of peace. Myaki prevail. The Myaki walk into the castle as prisoners, and Lwernyor Drakon appears. Lwernyor could see through Venescula's lies, and she says that his days spent hidden are over. Lwernyor overwhelms everyone, killing not only his own soldiers, but half of the Myaki, and then he takes Venescula. He leaves Vanstrom Klaus to deal with the rest. Safalan tries to appeal to his father, but he's nowhere to be found. After an intense fight, avoiding acidic blood veils, shadow attacks, blots of blood, and shadow lightning, you defeat him. Safalan tries again to speak him to reason, but Vanstrom says that he remembers the father as a weak man, and that he's so much stronger as a vampire. At this moment, Safalan's magic explodes and his father disappears. He's too far away to be teleported by Ivan for them to get out, so you have to leave Safalan to the vampires. Velia thinks that the Myaki are dead and that it's all over, that there is nothing left that you can do. You receive a Tome of Experience that gives 6 times 15,000 for a total of 90,000 XP in any skill of your choice. You also have the teleport option to go to Darkmire. Join me next time where I'll explain the lore behind A Night at the Theatre.